Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration podcast. As always, I'm your host, Shravan. We've got Taran here with us.
Hello.
And we're back after a little while. When was our last episode? Like the Marvels, I think, which is about 2-3 weeks ago. But we've got a whole bunch of reviews that we're a little bit behind on. So we're going to basically rattle through about 4 or 5 movies in this episode. And then we'll be back on track. And I think we've got a whole bunch of other stuff that's coming up as well. So this is a bit of a filler episode until we get to that stuff. How does that sound?
Sounds okay, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll see how it goes afterwards. Filler episodes can go one or two ways. So
yes, it's usually not good.
We'll see. Maybe it's a good filler. Yeah.
Well, this is going.
It's good to say right up top for the podcast.
We're setting your expectations early.
Yeah.
And you've seen all these movies, so you're not like reviewing movies that you haven't seen.
Yes.
Which is good, because last episode, or one of the episodes, you reviewed a bunch of movies that you hadn't even seen.
Did I?
Just based off the trailer.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And they're all shit. Yeah. And I stand by it.
Yeah. All right. So first movie is Blue Beetle, which we watched back in like September. This is the second last movie in the DC Extended Universe, although is it part of the DCU?
I think the actor is.
So the character with the actor?
I don't think this movie is, but the character
actor
is. Yeah.
And the actor.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's directed by Angel Manuel Soto, who has previously directed Charm City Kings in 2020. Haven't heard of it. And then this movie. It is starring, how do you pronounce his name?
I think it's Sholo.
Sholo.
Yeah.
Sholo Mariduena?
Yes.
Yeah. Who is famous for...
He's in Cobra Kai.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the new Karate Kid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's the new... did you hear they're making like a new...
But they're making another new Karate Kid. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that in the Jackie Chan universe?
It's in both of them. They're both in it. Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan are in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like Cobra Kai is part of it.
I don't know if it is, but possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's based off the character Blue Beetle, DC character. I don't have much background on the character himself. This is the first time I've seen him, but he's in like some animated stuff, obviously.
Yep. He's in the Blue Beetle comics.
Obviously. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
He's in the Blue Beetle TV show. I don't know if there is one actually.
Yeah. He's in Young Justice or something.
He is in Young Justice. Yeah. Season 2.
Yeah. Apart from him, there's a bunch of other actors that are in this movie. So I guess one of the selling features of this film is that it is like culturally, they casted people within the culture of I think they're all Mexican. Is it Mexican or like?
Something Hispanic. They're Hispanic. Yeah.
So they're all from a Hispanic background. So I guess that's one of the... I actually like that part of the movie. It's about a family as well. So there is a family aspect and then there is a superhero aspect. Budget was $104 million. How much do you think it made on the box office?
$204 million.
It was less than that, actually.
Okay.
$129 million worldwide.
Ooh, I was close. Not really. 80 million's a lot.
This continues the trend of superhero movies underperforming at the box office. This is not just underperforming. This is quite bad because it just made back its production budget, which means it probably lost money overall. It was released in Spanish and Portuguese. Did you know that?
No.
Well, yeah, now you do. This is why you come to this podcast to get...
Yeah, I always get educated during the podcast, which is,
So, and runtime's about 2 hours, so...
Short, yeah.
What do you think of the movie?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I thought it was... I mean...
It's not terrible.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
had its moments.
Yep.
Yeah.
He fights another Blue Beetle, but he's red. So I guess he's not Blue Beetle.
It's a red beetle?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a ladybug.
Yeah, but ladybugs are red and black, so
Was he just red?
I think it was just all red. Yeah. I didn't hate it. I think it had its moments. I think Sholo is quite good.
Yeah. I liked him. I liked
He's got
his
a
family.
certain charm. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought all the actors were pretty good.
Yep.
And I thought about 70% of the movie was pretty good. And then from memory, I felt like it went on a bit too long.
It's just a bit generic as well.
Yeah.
Feels
Apart
like
from,
Iron Man 2-esque.
Yeah. Apart from like the Hispanic, cultural stuff that they went, like the family stuff and the cultural stuff, it's pretty generic.
Yeah. But I think it's not terrible. It's definitely not terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. The villain was very ordinary.
Generic, yeah. Yep. Julianne Moore? No. Sigourney Weaver? No.
No. Susan Sarandon?
Susan Sarandon, yeah.
Yeah.
All three of those are, I don't know why, but they're similar in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the same person.
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver and Susan Sarandon are very similar for some reason.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in this and pretty forgettable villain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, apart from that, I thought out of the DC movies we got this year, which is like Shazam,
it was the best one. Yeah.
Flash, and then this, is that, did I miss any?
And I'm sure Aquaman will be worse than this.
Yeah. I mean, this is, if you're expecting something new, you're not going to get it. But as a generic superhero movie, it does.
It's good. Yeah.
It does what it needs to do.
It is better than all of those movies. And I'm going to say it's better than Aquaman. I haven't seen Aquaman, but I think it's better than Aquaman.
So a movie that we haven't, isn't released yet, but it's better than that movie.
Yeah.
We're watching it next week. We're watching on Christmas. There is shows on Christmas Day.
Cool.
So we're watching on Christmas Day. So obviously it's better than The Flash.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I would actually give this a cognitive recalibration because I think obviously no one watched this in the cinema. People are going to watch this on streaming. And as a streaming movie, it's actually pretty good. I think it's just put it on. It's worth a watch once. Yeah.
I think it's good in the background as well. Yeah.
There are some post-credit scenes, so we'll get into spoilers. Is it one or two post-credit scenes?
I just remember the one with Ted Cord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's the original Blue Beetle.
Yep.
And he's still alive?
Yeah.
Is that
it looks like he is.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's Jason Sudeikis.
Is that who it is? Like the voice?
He just looks like him. I don't know if it's him, but like there's a picture of him and it looks like Jason Sudeikis. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Whether they'll ever follow that up is
probably not. Yeah.
Is a mystery, but
I don't even know if they hired Jason Sudeikis for it. Yeah.
Or maybe they jumped the gun and it's in the universe. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. James Gunn, we'll see what he's planning with his DC universe.
Yeah. But he did he's been marketing all the DC movies this year. So even said Flash is the best movie he's ever seen. And
I don't think he's seen it.
And he did say this movie is really good as well.
Yeah.
And I don't think he said anything about Aquaman though.
Which is
not a good sign.
Not a good sign. Yeah. Given the stuff he's promoted up till now, if he's not saying anything about that, boy.
Yeah. So it's probably a recommendation for us.
I think it's okay.
Yeah. I had a good time with it. Yeah. Next is a movie we watched more recently. It is Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Long title.
Yeah. Long movie
as well. Yeah, you're right. It was almost 3 hours from memory. An hour, 157 minutes. So pretty long. It's based on the book Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. You've read the Hunger Games?
I've read the Hunger Games. I haven't read this. No.
Did I steal your Hunger Games books?
Possibly. I don't know. You might have them.
Because I saw them in my library. I'm I don't remember buying those. So that might be yours.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever read them again, honestly, but yeah.
Yeah. It was other stuff about the movie. Director is Francis Lawrence, who directed 4 of the 5 Hunger Games movies previously, and also Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence again. This is starring Tom Blythe and Rachel Zegler, who I thought Brie Larson was the most hated person on the internet, but I think Rachel Zegler's getting pretty close to that.
Yeah. Yep. People don't like what she says.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's only a couple of things she said, but I mean, fair enough. People can hate or not like who they want. But she's in this movie. Now, Peter Dinklage was also in this movie.
Yes.
It's got a pretty good cast. It's got
Viola Davis.
yes, who's playing a very over-the-top character, but she does a good job. Apart from that, box office-wise, so budget, 100 million. What do you think box office is?
204 million. If you don't remember, that's exactly the same as there for the other one. Yeah,
but this time it's more than that. So
okay.
It's 295 million.
For the next one, I'm going to be spot on.
Okay, let's see what the next one is. So that means that this is not a failure. It's not a raging success either, but it's done decently well. So we did watch it on opening night, I think it was, and we ended up sitting in like the second row from the front because it was actually pretty full. So there are fans of this franchise, or maybe like people were just out and like, let's watch a movie, and they didn't want to watch the Marvels, so they watched this instead.
Yeah.
We did do the double. We watched the Marvels and then we watched this.
Yeah, we watched them both in a row, which
probably wasn't a good idea because this was a long movie, but that was short. The other one was short.
Yeah, I think it ended up being quite long by the end of it. Yeah.
What do you think of this?
I thought it was okay.
Again,
I thought it was pretty sad. And
it's
like
a bit serious.
Too serious.
But all the Hunger Games, like
they're all pretty serious. Yeah.
You're not going to expect a comedy, right? So
yeah.
They're all pretty serious. This is the origin, so it's a prequel to the original Hunger Games films. It's an origin story of Snow.
Yes, President Snow in the end, I think. Yeah.
Yes. And I thought about 2/3 of this movie was quite engaging. So
and it just keeps going.
The movie's split up into 3 parts, actually. So I thought the first 2 parts were actually really good, and that took us to about 2 hours anyway. I thought the last part
just keeps going
a bit of a drag. Yeah. And just wasn't as interesting. And we kind of know how this is going to end because we know what Snow becomes. But I thought the origin of him, because he's not actually a bad guy, was really interesting, like where he came from. And
I thought the Hunger Games was a bit boring. The Hunger Games itself.
Yeah,
it's just in a room.
Yeah. I mean, it's the one of the first Hunger Games, right?
Yeah.
So
I think in the movie itself, they admit they're like, oh, yeah, these are getting kind of boring because it's just people in a room killing each other.
Yeah. So it's going back to its roots. I thought some of the stuff around like how they can send drones in, and that was interesting.
Right.
Some of the stuff they did. But yeah, it is literally just in like a dome. Whereas like I remember the first Hunger Games, it was in like a forest.
It's like a forest, yeah. Second one's in like a dome, like a huge dome.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it is an origin. So I thought the Hunger Games part, which is the second part of the 3 parts, was still pretty interesting.
It's better than the last part. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is too long and gets a bit boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And very sad. Very sad. Yeah.
Yeah. The performances were pretty good. I thought the Tom Blythe really carries the movie. It's about him, so he does a really good job. Rachel Zegler was good. It is also, I think we can probably call this a musical because there is a lot of songs in it.
There's a couple of songs, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Rachel Zegler was cast because of her singing.
Because they hate her, yeah.
Because they wanted everyone to hate this movie.
Yeah.
No, because of her singing talent. She wasn't in the Heights, not in the Heights. The other one, West Side Story.
Yes, she was in that.
Yeah. So she's a very good singer, and she plays a singer in this movie. So she did a good job with that. I give it a cognitive recalibration.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Better than The Flash.
Yes, better than The Flash.
Better than Blue Beetle.
Well, I don't know.
I'd probably watch Blue
Beetle over this because it's shorter. Yeah.
And it's just not as sad.
It's easier to watch.
Yeah. It's not serious.
Yeah, but they kill too many people in this.
Even before the Hunger Games. Yeah.
Yep.
Even before the games start.
I think the one that got me was there was like a girl with Down syndrome and they kill her. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Yeah.
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 And then they kill like he's got like a best friend, and like he dies as like spoilers, by the way. So we'll jump into spoilers. There's a best friend, and like he's with him the whole movie, and then like you see it coming because you know he's going to turn and he's going to betray his friend. But yeah, that happens as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can like, it's not like a dramatic, like it's not out of character. Like they kind of build it up.
Yeah.
So it does make sense in the end. Like he is ambitious and he probably would eventually do this. But it is a slow evolution, which is good. Like I think they did that well.
Yeah.
Does he kill Rachel Zegler at the end?
It's very ambiguous. They don't really say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not really revealed, but probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem to have any regrets about it because he just goes back and he's like...
Just does his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a sociopath.
Yeah. Which I guess explains why he becomes what he becomes. All right. But not bad. I think it is long, but if you're into the Hunger Games, then yeah, I think it's worth watching. It's done decently well in the box office, considering like when did the last Hunger Games movie come out? Like ages ago.
2015 maybe, or like, yeah, something like that.
So
Yeah.
considering the number of years,
2017. Yeah.
Yeah, the number of years between movies, I think, yeah, it's done pretty well. Next movie. And this is a movie we watched very recently, last week? Or like 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Wonka. So this is another prequel. A prequel to...
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. No, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the 1970s.
Okay, it's that one then.
Yeah, Charlie and Chocolate Factory is the Johnny Depp
one.
Yeah, well, which is like the same movie, but yeah, I think they specifically said it's a prequel to that version of the character, not the Johnny Depp version.
Yes, because the Johnny Depp version, they do some prequel stuff in that
as well. Oh yeah, they show his like origin.
They do some stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie that well, but it's Tim Burton, right? So it's,
weird.
Yeah. This one is directed by Paul King, who previously directed Paddington 1 and 2. Starring Timothée Chalamet, obviously based off the Roald Dahl, the characters from the Roald Dahl novel. This is not a Roald Dahl story itself, so they've come up with a prequel themselves.
New story.
There's a bunch of other actors in the movie, but obviously Tim Cham is that's the nickname we're going with. He's standing behind you.
Behind me, yeah.
Yeah. He plays Willy Wonka. So the marketing for this was interesting because they're like how Willy became Wonka. I'm like, isn't Wonka just his name?
How Willy became Wonka. That sounds like a porno or something. It sounds. It does. This is a kids' movie.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what the marketing was. It's like how Willy became Wonka.
Yeah.
But like Willy Wonka's his name, so like
it is. Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah, I didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see that poster actually. Are you sure you did just imagine that?
No, it was in the trailer.
It's in the trailer. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I saw a trailer before this. I might have, but not a full trailer. Yeah.
It was in the trailer. Apart from that, there's not too much to talk about. Budget was 125 million. 204. So currently it's sitting at 156 million.
Okay, but wait till it's at the end of its run.
It will eventually make 204.
Yep. And on that day, I'll screenshot it and send it to you.
But it's likely to make more than 204 just because of the it's done pretty well. Like it's opening weekend 156 million, so it's likely to make more than 204 million. Did you know that this has already made more, like in the same opening weekend, it made more than Paddington 1 and 2?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think it's better than Paddington 1 or 2.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Because I really like that bear.
Like Paddington?
Yeah, the bear. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking that there are other bears in that movie, but yeah, Paddington bear. No, I don't think it's as good as Paddington 1 or 2. I think those.
But I think it's pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also watched it at a drive-in with my dog. And I don't think I concentrated as much for about the first half of the movie because my dog was not happy. It's
Yes.
the first time we took him to a drive-in, so it was all a new experience for everyone. So, but I enjoyed it for what it was. It's not as funny as I thought it would be. I thought it'd be funnier because the Paddington movies are really funny.
I think Timothée Chalamet's not overly funny. I think it was better when it was serious compared to when it was funny.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he trying to be funny.
I think at parts he was. Yeah.
Okay.
Like when he does that, like, listen down and heads up or whatever. What does he say?
Oh, and it's like reverse that.
Yeah, reverse that.
I think. I guess it's kind of a joke, but apparently that's what the original Willy Wonka said as well. Or you say like reverse that, like he used to.
He used to say that. Yeah. But I think he was pretty good with the serious stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like the other characters in the movie.
Yeah.
It is a bit like, you mentioned it while we were watching it.
It's like Paddington 2.
It is a bit like Paddington 2 in terms of the premise. They're like stuck in, it's not a jail, but like they're kind of captured.
It's essentially a jail. Yeah.
Olivia Colman's in this movie. There's a lot of other.
There's lots of English actors in this. Rowan Atkinson. Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it's the first Willy Wonka movie is a kid's movie, but there are like there's creepy elements to that movie. Like there's like kids getting almost killed. And even Willy Wonka, the character, is a bit like,
yeah, you're not sure which way he's
a bit twisted. Yeah. Like he's not like a nice guy.
And this guy's very nice.
Yeah.
So, when did he snap?
Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah.
So
I guess that's in the sequel. Yeah.
I mean, this movie's probably going to do well enough, so they might make a sequel. But I think this movie was catered more towards children.
Because he's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but I told you during the movie, he's essentially a drug dealer.
Yes. Yeah, it's in this universe where like people pay with chocolate as well. Like chocolate is the currency.
Yeah.
And obviously he's like a magician that makes really good chocolate.
But his chocolates make you do things as well.
Yeah, like they make you hallucinate and stuff.
Or they make you confident or whatever. So he's selling drugs and the police are after him. So yeah. Lots of this movie is basically a drug dealer.
Yeah. And how he succeeds and like starts
makes
his
money
empire.
off his drug money.
Cartel empire. Yeah.
And he takes down the drug cartel. It's called the chocolate cartel.
That's right.
Actually, what it's called.
There's a lot of parallels.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. Yeah, I think a lot of people like. There's nothing offensive about this movie. Like it's just you have fun watching it. It's not that memorable, but when you watch it, you're like, yeah, that's good. I give it a cognitive recalibration again. It's a pretty positive episode so far. You better than the Flash.
100%. Yeah.
Yep. So the next movie and the last movie that we're looking at. Actually, I got a bonus one. You haven't seen this one because you couldn't make it when we watched it. But The Boy and the Heron, which is a movie that I've been looking forward to for a very long time because of all these posters that are behind me. So Studio Ghibli. It's a Studio Ghibli film. It's said to be the last film directed by Hayao Miyazaki, who's the founder of Studio Ghibli. He's about like 82 years old now.
Wow.
So he directed this film. He's the principal animator, and it's about a boy and a heron. Do you know what a heron is?
Some kind of an Is it like a rabbit?
It's a bird. It's like kind of like a pelican looking kind of thing, but not with the like big beak. It's kind of a smaller beak. It was meant to come out 2020 to coincide with the
pandemic.
Well, they planned that. No, it was meant to coincide with the Tokyo Olympics.
Okay.
Which didn't happen in 2020 anyway because of the pandemic. But it's taken them longer to actually animate because these are all hand-drawn animation films. So it does take a lot of time. But there's something about hand-drawn animation that I really like. Like this, it just looks, I don't know, it just looks better in some ways just because of the effort that's gone into animating this. It's typical Studio Ghibli type animation. So like Kiki's Delivery Service, like Everything Above Me, that style of animation. And there are two types of Studio Ghibli films. So there's the slice of life, kind of simple, almost like peaceful movies where like there's not too much of a conflict and like you just get a bit of a story about a character or a family or something like that. And then there's a super deep, there's all these like themes and you can basically study it and, you know, dig very deep into it, which is like Spirited Away, which won an Oscar. This is in the vein of Spirited Away. So it is deep. It does have like a preliminary story, but about halfway into the movie, it gets into another realm and it becomes quite a deep story after that. So it's not a typical, like, kids probably wouldn't get this movie. Like, the animation's nice. There's a lot of like cool stuff that's happening, but kids probably wouldn't understand it. I mean, even I didn't fully understand it. There's a lot of stuff in there that I'm still questioning. So it's not a movie that you just put on to like relax. You kind of have to concentrate. Kind of like Christopher Nolan movies.
Tenet.
Yeah, kind of like Tenet, because there is a time bending component to the movie as well. So it's and then apparently it's semi-autobiographical. So it is about Hayao Miyazaki's childhood as well. So there are some elements that they cover earlier in the film, which I think actually happened to him when he was a child. It is it's set during World War II in Japan. So I think there are some parallels with what happened in World War II as well, in terms of the parallel story that runs. So yeah, it's very good film. Excellent animation. Definitely everyone should watch it. But I know Studio Ghibli's not everyone's cup of tea as well. So I know some people that would watch it and they just wouldn't really get into it. And they might even find it boring. But I thought it was really good.
So if you like Studio Ghibli stuff, it's probably for you. But if you don't,
then it's not for you.
Not for you.
This is not the one that's going to
win you over,
get you on board. But certainly Cognitive Recalibration.
Certainly better than The Flash.
Yeah. I can. It's got quite. We watched it in Japanese with subtitles, but there is an English dub version, which has quite a stellar voice cast as well. So Robert Pattinson, Gemma Chan, Christian Bale, Mark Hamill, Florence Pugh, Willem Dafoe, Dave Bautista.
All superhero people.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty much all of them. So, yeah, it's got quite an extensive voice cast. And with the Ghibli films, they tend to get pretty high-profile voice actors for all of them. So this is no different. But I hope they do still keep making these Studio Ghibli movies, even if it's not directed by Hayao Miyazaki. So there was talk that they're going to stop making them after this one. But they're so popular, especially now during the pandemic when they released all of the movies on Netflix and a lot of people watch them. And they garnered a lot of new fans. So I hope they keep making them.
Keep making them.
They do take a lot of time, though, just because they're the way they're
drawn.
Yeah. Box office wise, it's made 112 million worldwide.
204. It's going for it.
It may not get there. Well, let's see. Yeah, it just released worldwide, but it had come out in Japan earlier. It also had very little marketing. Like, they literally just had a trailer and that was it. There was nothing.
Sometimes that's good, though. Element of surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also, like, if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli, you're going to go watch it. But if you don't know about it,
then you won't. Yeah. Yep.
So
I'm sure in Japan it had better marketing than here, though.
Apparently there as well. Like, not really. Like, they just released it and they were just hoping that you knew about it.
Fair enough. Yeah. I guess if you're a Studio Ghibli fan, you would know about it, though.
Yeah. So the bonus movie is another Japanese animation. This is something I watched earlier in the year. I don't think I had a chance to talk about it on the podcast, but it's a film called Suzume. It is directed by Makoto Shinkai, who also directed Your Name and Weathering with You.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Weathering with You.
Yeah. So that was the last Japanese animation that you saw in the cinema. So we watched this also in Japanese with subtitles, but this is more in the vein of a Your Name or a Weathering with You. So it's not a Studio Ghibli deep movie, but it's also not like a peaceful slice of life kind of thing either. So it's in between. But it's basically about a high school girl who ends up preventing a series of natural disasters because of something she encounters in a village.
Sounds like Knowing with Nick Cage.
Is that what happens in that movie? I haven't seen that movie.
I think so. I think he can predict the future or something in that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, the animation, I don't think it's fully hand drawn. I think it's like a semi CGI, semi hand drawn. But the animation again is quite good and spectacular. It's based in modern day Tokyo. So again, if you've been to Tokyo, you'll kind of see some of the main sights and sounds of Tokyo throughout the film. But it also goes throughout Japan. So there's like a road trip part of the movie as well where they're going across Japan, preventing natural disasters. But really good movie. Again, I don't think many people have seen it because of they marketed it more than Boy and the Heron, but you kind of have to be looking for this kind of stuff to go and watch it, which I do. So that's why I ended up going to see it. But again, I would highly recommend it. I don't think it's on any streaming services yet, but when it does come out,
probably on Netflix. It sounds like a Netflix type movie that will come out on.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Yep. Sounds better than The Flash again.
Definitely better than The Flash. Box office, 323 million.
Beat the 204 million mark. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other movies that we would like to mention?
No, nothing that I can think of. I haven't seen that many movies as of late. Only the ones that we've watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Rebel Moon is coming out.
Yeah, but I heard it's not good.
Heard it's bad. Yeah.
I heard it's really not good. But we've got a pretty packed weekend actually, because we're going to be doing a couple of things, but also recording a couple of podcasts. So obviously Christmas is not too far away, so we'll be doing a annual Christmas episode. I've already selected my film, which is an old classic. Probably it might actually be the oldest film that we've ever reviewed on this podcast.
So it's a Miracle on 42nd Street or whatever.
No.
I
think it's older than that.
Is it what's it called? That one that's really sad that everyone watches on Christmas. Anyway, you're gonna
reveal it
anyway
in our Christmas episode.
Yeah, it's yeah.
And I think you're watching something a bit more recent.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Okay. And then apart from that, we've got Aquaman, which we'll be watching on Christmas Day, so you can stay tuned for our review of that. And then we'll be starting a new podcast very soon, probably around the same time, around Christmas time. So stay tuned follow us on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. But we'll put something out there saying, go to this channel. There's some new content on there, but you'll know what that is very, very soon. So if people do want to get in touch with us, how do they go about it?
So we're on all platforms. All social media platforms, I should say, at Cognitive Recalibration, or we are contactable via email at cognitiverecalibrationpodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. And obviously, if you want to support the podcast, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube if you are watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to us on our audio stream, then give us a review on either Spotify or iTunes, because that makes us more discoverable on search engines. Cool. And we've also got our best and worst of 2023 that we have to do as well.
Yeah.
And in that, I'm going to go through our Spotify, what do I call it? Like your year in
Wrapped.
Yeah. Spotify Wrapped, because we've got the results for our podcast. So a couple of interesting results that came up through that, like in terms of the most listened to episode of the year and which countries listen to us most and stuff like that. So I can go through that in our end of year episode. Great.
Perfect.
Quick episode.
Yeah, quick movies. Not really. Some of them were really long and I wanted to die, but we did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're all positive. So
they were all not bad. We've seen worse. Marvel's was worse. Yeah.
Marvel's was worse. Cool. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. If you haven't seen any of these movies, definitely check some of them out, especially the last two that I mentioned.
I think I think Wonka's definitely, out of the ones we talked about, Wonka's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, I think Wonka's worth checking out. And if you're into animation, then definitely check out Boy and the Heron and Suzume. But thanks for listening. Hope you're all staying safe, and we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.